7 reasons why you need an emergency fund. You see, life is unpredictable. One minute you are cruising, the next minute you are hit with an unexpected expense. If you have an emergency fund, you are safe. But if you do not, your wealth building journey could take a very huge hit. You may be forced to sell off your properties or liquidate your assets or even go into debt in order to sort them out because, like the name implies, they are emergencies and need urgent attention. So, whether it's to survive that period or to stay in control of your life and finances, an emergency fund can be a lifesaver. Hello and welcome. This is Dr. Obed, and here we'll talk about personal finance and wealth building. So today we are diving into the 7 reasons why you really need an emergency fund. First of all, what is even an emergency fund? An emergency fund is 3 to 6 months of your living expenses saved up for the purpose of life emergencies. So this money is about amount of money that can sustain you for about 3 to 6 months, and it must be kept in a place that you can quickly access in cases of emergencies. So why do you need an emergency fund? Number one is job loss and income disruptions. Now, if anything happens and you lose your job or your business gets stagnated such that money is not coming in, an emergency fund will give you a breathing space while you try to sort out your life. It's assumed that within the 3 to 6 months that your emergency fund will last, you should have been able to sort out your income, either get a new job or activate a different income source. If you work in Nigeria, for example, you can be old even for some months. If that happens to you, an emergency fund can be a lifesaver. For some persons, it's so bad that even a delay in the payment of their salary can send them into financial crisis because they do not have any financial cushion at all in the form of an emergency fund. So you need an emergency fund in case of income disruptions or a sudden job loss. Now, the second reason why you need an emergency fund is for medical emergencies. Now, healthcare is very expensive, especially the unexpected ones that are emergencies. So, an emergency fund will prevent you from going into debt or selling off your assets in times of a health emergency or crisis. You see, as someone who works in healthcare, I've seen firsthand how lack of money can be the reason for the death of a loved one. Lack of sometimes even little amounts of money can be the reason for death or a lot of unwanted health consequences. One of the essence of making money is to take care of yourself and of your loved ones. So if you have a health emergency and you are not able to sort it out because the money is not available, it's not a nice experience. An emergency fund can be kept for that purpose. Now, nobody prays for health emergencies, but it is better to be prepared for any kind of thing that life throws your way. The third reason why you need an emergency fund is sudden car or home repairs. Now, your essential assets like your car or even your house can develop serious faults that will significantly affect your lifestyle and living conditions if they are not sorted. Your car can pack up and need huge amounts for repairs, or there can be something with your house, maybe your roof is leaking or your window or something that requires some amount of money to repair. It may even be a home appliance that is very essential that packs up or that needs huge repair. An emergency fund is needed for such events. Without an emergency fund and no money to sort them out, your lifestyle could be significantly affected, and it can even affect your business or your job, whether physically, emotionally, or psychologically. And the fourth reason why you need an emergency fund is to protect your assets and your investments. You see, like we said, emergencies come and must be sorted out. So if you don't have an emergency fund and an emergency comes, the first thing most people do is to sell off their assets and liquidate their investments. And certain investments are long term and requires you to leave it for a long period of time. If liquidated earlier than necessary, you will incur huge losses. So having an emergency fund helps you protect such investment and even your assets. A huge part of asset protection is ensuring that you do not need that asset before it yields the income or the profits that you want. So if you have an emergency fund, you can leave your assets for longer. You will not have need for them earlier than is necessary. That helps you to take advantage of compound interest and build wealth faster and bigger. Now, the fifth reason why you need an emergency fund is to avoid debts, especially high interest debts. Like we said, when emergencies come, you either liquidate your assets or you go into debt. If you do not have assets to liquidate, you are certainly going to borrow to sort them out. And that is how people go into huge debts. Some people are even already in debt. Imagine having to add on more debt to your already growing debt portfolio because of an emergency. That is why you need to sort out your emergency fund to ensure you don't keep perpetuating your debts. Because once an emergency comes, assuming a health emergency, you must sort them out. And debt is the next port of call if you do not have assets to sell off. The sixth reason why you need an emergency fund is for peace of mind. You see, knowing that you have financial cushion reduces stress and anxiety, and it gives you peace of mind. It helps you sleep better and even make better financial decisions. Knowing that there is a certain amount of emergencies that cannot take you out, that you have conquered a certain level of lack, and a certain amount of emergencies cannot destroy you or even take out your loved ones. There is peace of mind that comes with having conquered a certain amount of money. You need that peace of mind. It helps with your mental and even your psychological health. An emergency fund will give you that peace of mind and the strength to face other challenges, knowing that you have conquered at some level. And the seventh reason why you need an emergency fund is even the best one for emergency investment opportunities. Now, sometimes the reason why you will use up that your emergency fund may be an investment opportunity that you cannot pass off. Maybe it's a distress sale, like a property that goes for 10 million, but the owner is asking for 5 million or even 4 because he's in distress and needs cash urgently. That is a kind of rare opportunities that can come and you cannot pass them by. Now, an emergency fund is not for investments, but there are rare investment opportunities that can come. It is only people who are prepared, people who have cash saved up that can make use of them. That is how people multiply money. That is how people become wealthy through making use of rare opportunities. It's not like you are waiting for them. They just come and meet you, and only the prepared can make use of them. So that is the importance of having an emergency fund. It protects your assets and your investments from premature liquidation. It prevents you from going into debt, protects your family and yourself in cases of health emergencies and even income and job disruptions, protects your mental health and gives you peace of mind and confidence to face other life challenges, knowing that an area of your life has been sorted out. You need an emergency fund in your journey towards wealth building. 3 to 6 months of your living expenses saved up somewhere that is accessible, and your future self will thank you for the gesture. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, and please do subscribe to the channel for more videos like this on personal finance and well-being. See you in this next video.